Folks, what the crap's going on? Welcome back to Nemedicina. Get your barf bags ready, because yes, it is the Barfy Grasslands. But today we have a good one. I've got a match coming to you from Jar and Wicked, both who have been members of the community in my Discord for a long time. And they have been watching the Rome 2 battles and kind of got back into it themselves. And so they sent me this battle, and I'm excited to watch it. This is actually going to be the Odrysian Kingdom taking on the... I believe it was Aravachi. I may not have caught the name right. Or no, Lusitani. Sorry, the Aravachi is the red one. So the Lusitani over here, and Lusitani, I love Iberian tribes, by the way. I love the, what is it, the Falcata type swords that they had. They carry the iron javelins, which I don't know if this game shows them correctly, but just lots of cool weapons that came from Iberia. Actually, the Romans had some of their weapons inspired from there as well. Plus you get the Balearic Slingers, and they're going to be mixed in with some Iberians up front. I thought I saw at least, 2 Balearic Slingers, 2 Iberians, so a couple of expensive ones, some cheap ones. There's some Scutari Cavalry, which is just a medium melee cavalry. Fairly low on armor, but, not a bad hitter in the right kind of fights. Iberian Cavalry I really like. They're very high melee attack, so if you get them into skirmish units, they're just absolutely gruesome. I believe they have a missile attack. They do not get a bonus versus large, but they're very good at cleanups into light infantry. And then we've got some Cantabrian cavalry here, which are very high missile damage, skirmish cavalry, very light cavalry in terms of, if they get into a melee. They're going to be up against some Thracian cavalry, and the Thracians are actually pretty solid in melee after they discharge their javelins, at least for such a light cavalry. And then we're going to see over here supporting them some Thracian horsemen, which again, looks like this is another medium horse, pretty low quality, probably actually a little bit lesser even than the Scutari. But as far as the rest of the army goes here, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and pause it, because this thing is coming to a head pretty quickly. We've got some Thracian Royal Cav here in the back. This is a heavy-hitting melee cavalry, very powerful, and like many barbarian cavalry, it's got a lot of charge, despite not being a shot cavalry. Then we've got some Thracian nobles along the back line here. Looks like 4 of them. These are extremely hard-hitting shock infantry, so they're going to deliver an absolutely punishing charge, something on the level of cavalry, but they're not very well armored, and their defense is terrible. So if you can cycle them, great. If you can't, then you just have to make sure you get the best charge you can get. Try and avoid any missile fire. There are mercenary Falksmen, which are a much cheaper variant of them as well. These guys like to go to battle without a shirt, or in their pajamas, or both. And then as far as the skirmishers go, there's going to be 3 Thracian slingers. Now these are just kind of some cheap slingers. There's some spears helping to guard. I said 3, there's actually 4. Some cheap spears guarding them on either flank, which is a good call. We've already got some skirmishing taking place. Let's take a look at the rest of the Lusitani army in terms of infantry. Veteran shield warriors have very good attack for a mid-tier sword. They're just not like horribly survivable. They're pretty good for a mid-tier sword. They're not amazing, but they're pretty solid. So they're going to provide some good hitting power. And then the Lusitani nobles are very hard-hitting in infantry. Something akin to Oathsworn, though I do believe that ultimately if they go head-to-head, the Oathsworn's a little bit better because of the weapon damage and probably armor. But still, the Lusitani noble is a very solid fighter, very high attack, does a lot of damage. We're going to see several of those here. It looks like 3. Then you got the shield warriors. So in a grind-out melee, the Lusitani have probably better infantry, but on the charge, the Odrysians would win. From a skirmishing standpoint, the Lusitani definitely hold an advantage with those Balearic Slingers. And from a cavalry standpoint, numbers are on the side of Thracia, or sorry, I said Thracia here, which is pretty close, the Odrysians. But yeah, numbers are on their side, especially with these Thracian horsemen. They are already driving out one of the Cantabrian Cav. We're going to get an engagement here between the Scutari and the Thracian horsemen. A nice frenzied charge there, popped at the last second. Should get a nice engagement started for the Scutari cavalry, but there's a lot of support around. These Thracian horsemen are going to even that fight out really quickly if they get the opportunity. I can see an Iberian slinger already on the run, and the Balearics are pulling back. So the slingers not doing bad so far for the Odrysian Kingdom. We've got some Falksmen kind of traveling forward to get the battle started. Looks like there's going to be multiple units countercharging it, and it gets absolutely shredded. Interesting that the general is going in first, especially into that Falksman, which does have a pretty good charge. That cavalry got a little blobbed up and took a nice volley there from the Cantabrian cavalry. Look at that, Scutari cavalry started winning, but all the javelin support turned against it in that fight, and then the mercenary falxman here chopped through the Scutari cavalry as well. Let's see how this engagement goes. Oh yeah, this Thracian noble did not get a follow-up charge. This one's going to get a very nice flank charge. A little bit slow to react here in terms of getting this Iberian cavalry. Could have disrupted that Thracian noble. Over here getting some nice shots picking at those spearmen. And it looks like both factions still maintain their skirmishing component, though it looks like the Lusitani are about to have their skirmishers under some major pressure here. All 4 Thracian cavalry are just rolling in here, and the Thracian horsemen have basically mopped up most of the melee component, and these Iberian cavalry doing a last-ditch charge here. This noble did not get a good charge, so they will get cut up, but this is a big problem for these slingers, especially those Balearic slingers. This is a lot of money that's about to get absolutely shredded by this cavalry. There's a Lusitani swordswomen, trying to chase them out. Forgot about this unit coming in as a DLC. Here comes the swordwomen. They're going to try and intercept that Thracian cavalry. One Iberian slinger gets out of the line of fire, but the 2 Balearic slingers get caught. And this is really bad. You can see how quickly those units get eaten up by the Thracian cavalry. So yeah, not great there for the Iberians. That's going to be some pretty significant loss. And then over here again, the cavalry continues its mop up, but when we look at the infantry fight, the Thracian nobles just didn't really get very outstanding charges on a lot of these Lusitani nobles, and the nobles are starting to grind them down. The cavalry for the Thracians is badly needed to help swing this fight, but right now they're kind of bogged down on that swordswomen. They'll do okay in that fight, and that Balearic slinger's putting up a little bit of a hold up. So not a bad move there, but the Thracian Royal Cavalry is moving in now too. The swordwomen are about to get absolutely trampled. Nice javelins coming in here from the Lusitani guerrillas. So they're throwing some spears into the flank. Some of the Balearic slingers did get away. I thought maybe both of them got caught, but a couple had managed to get over here. They are still safe, and they were putting some nice shots in that fight. Yeah, that swordwomen got absolutely trounced, but they did manage 149 kills. So, impressive performance, but that is a ton of Thracian cavalry rolling all over the battlefield, and there's so many nobles left, and with all the cavalry rear charging, I don't see how the Lusitani are going to dig themselves out of this one unless their guerrillas maybe have enough javelins to tear down a bunch of this cavalry. Because those Thracian nobles hurt, and this one's about to get free and lay down another charge on another unit. And, I mean, you could see the leadership potentially, or morale, I guess, making Warhammer, calling it leadership. Yeah, you could see it potentially begin to fall apart. Got a battle rhythm going down here. There's going to be a charge coming in from, well, no, it's not a charge, just the Thracian nobles. Looks like they were headed somewhere else, but get intercepted. I think that rear charge is maybe coming for the general. They get intercepted by the veteran shield warriors. And it's going to have to pull out there. Where did those guerrillas end up at? Those guerrillas really needed to get after the cavalry, but instead they're getting after the slingers. They're going to be intercepted by this Thracian noble and a mercenary falx. That is not going to go well for them. They really needed to get after that cavalry and see if the nobles could finish up this fight. And the nobles are doing good. The Thracian nobles are running out of steam here. They're going to get overwhelmed, I think, by the better defense overall from the Lusitani nobles. The Lusitani nobles have very good defense. They're just low on armor. It's kind of the downside to them, but they have very good defense and attack. These guerrillas, though, putting up a decent fight back here, all things considered. They really are completely overwhelmed. They do have a very nice bonus versus large, so those cavalry are not going to love being in that fight. But look at this, the slinger's still just chipping away, and we only had one left over here. That Royal Cavalry is in good shape, and it's got a lot of kills. This is really going to take its toll. These slingers peppering in here late into this game, and the Lusitani have now lost all of their mobility. Nice rear charge here coming into those guerrillas. They're not really going to last much longer. Their morale is falling apart. So take a look there, that Thracian cavalry really sticking it to them. Decent number of kills on the guerrillas, though. Not bad. Looks like the Thracian general just cycle charging away into the Lusitani infantry. And then, I mean, these slingers are going to absolutely tank these guys. They just can't take this kind of punishment. So it's not going to be good for the Lusitani. So there they go. And I think that the Odrysians have this one pretty much wrapped up. Lusitani definitely have the stronger force left, but it's going to be getting cycle charge, it's going to be getting picked at by slingers, and I just don't think it's going to be able to finish this one. That Royal Cavalry is a major threat. We'll see. And the Lusitani general recently died, so that's also going to play into leadership. And of course the nobles are going to be less affected by that loss, but still affected. Nice job keeping the Royal Cav general at a distance for the moment and letting some of these units do their work. These slingers need to try and unleash everything they can into this infantry blob. Nice use of these nobles to come in and try and tie the infantry blob up. They had a headhunt still available to them, so they're going to try and get a last few kills. And this kind of went like I would expect it to in a lot of ways, right? The Lusitani did pretty decent in that infantry fight. They came out with 3 nobles, and they started with 3 nobles. The Thracians did not fare as well in the infantry fight, but they ended up doing very well in the cavalry fight. Surprisingly, they ended up doing better in the missile fight, even though they really didn't have as good a units. I think their cavalry advantage really bought their missiles a lot of extra time to do their work, and it certainly paid off getting them into this late game. We're going to see these Lusitani nobles finally give up and not really be able to finish this fight, though they came very close. They did some tremendous damage. It's really hard to kill heavily armored melee cavalry late in a game. They hit pretty hard on the charge, they're mobile, and they do a lot of damage. So fun battle there between Jar and Wicked. Wicked, of course, was playing as the Odrysians and Jar as the Lusitani. And they both had a good battle and were able to, I think, have some high moments for both. Like if I look at the Lusitani, again, a solid performance from the Lusitani nobles. They were up against some very tough infantry. 368 kills here, 195 kills, 236. Veteran shield warriors getting some nice kills. The sword women, one of them did a nice job as well. So some of their units definitely getting kills. There's just their cavalry wasn't really able to provide the cover that was needed. That then undermined the skirmish component, which allowed the Odrysians to win. And when I take a look at the Odrysian side, very nice use of the Thracian Royal Cavalry. We had some good kills in here on the Thracian Cavalry too. These are very versatile skirmisher units, very good ones. And then just the extra numbers from the Thracian horsemen ended up proving pretty pivotal here. And you can see the infantry, although tough, and one of them did quite well, you can see they just didn't perform as well as the Lusitani nobles because, again, the charge is very critical for these units to really get a ton of kills. And so the infantry fight really did kind of favor, but again, the cavalry went in favor of the Odrysians, which then allowed their slingers to get more work done. I mean, just look at this unit here, 146 kills on a Thracian slinger. Can't beat that with a stick, folks. Anyway, appreciate Wicked and Jarface sending this one over. I know you all have been liking some of the replays with the Odrysians. I really like the Iberian factions, so it's cool to see the Lusitani in here as well. Hope you all enjoyed that one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.